So this video is to introduce Daisy, our sunny yellow 1978 Volkswagen camper van. Daisy's pretty special in that she's an amazing 6-berth van. You think, how on earth can you get 6 people in here? But this video is going to show you. The video is aimed at showing you around the van if you've got Daisy hired. If you're wanting to look at her layout and things like that, we'll probably be doing a short extract of it to make it easier to see what she has available. But this is the detailed stuff, so that you know how to be a pro and camp in Daisy. So we're going to start with keys, and the first thing to say about keys is the insurers require me to tell everybody if these are left unattended in the van, then she's not insured. So please make sure you know where these are all the time. Daisy, like all of our vans, has gained a few keys over the years, and the big one with the black end on it there is the cab doors. The little one is just the fuel filler cap, and the one that's a funny shape is everything else. It goes in the ignition with the tab towards you, and it also does the side door and the tailgate. When you're putting it in, it goes in horizontal and then turns 180 degrees, so it's still horizontal, and that's the door locked. 180 degrees again, the door is unlocked. With Daisy, it's worth mentioning that if you park the key anywhere other than 180 degrees and pull on it hard, you will pull the barrel out, so don't, please. The door handle goes 2 ways. You press it down, get the spring open at the back, and then you trundle it along until it catches. To release it from there, press it down again, let the handle come level, give it a go. Whiz shut. The up part of the handle there pulls the back of the door in to make sure it's secure for travelling. If I pull that up, you can see the back of the door goes in and clicks. And you have to do that to be able to lock it. If you haven't done it, you'll find that the key won't turn back. On the inside of the catch, the handle here, pull on that to release it to shut the door. When you're closing it from the inside, it's easier to hold the handle up here than to hold the catch, because that goes down the side of the seat. Once you've shut the door, pull back on this handle to bring the back of the door in, and finally you can lock it by pressing the catch there down to the 6 o'clock position. It's worth mentioning on this point that the inside lock and the outside lock don't talk to each other, so if you've locked it from the inside, you have to unlock it from the inside, and vice versa. So that's the sliding door. So the funny shaped key does the tailgate as well. Goes in if it's locked with the tab pointing that way, turn it over and should be able to open it. In Daisy, she's the only one of our vans that the boot space stays as boot space. It doesn't make up into the bed, which is quite handy if you've got lots of bags piled in. In the back here you'll find that we've got the table, we've got part of the bed cushions, we've got her hookup cable, and we've got a bag of screens for the windows. These screens are all labelled. This one says sliding door on it, and they go on the inside of the windows at night with these suckers. You can wet them a bit, stick them on the inside of the glass, draw the curtains round, it'll keep you nice and snug. It acts like a bit of a double insulation layer. In the morning when you come to take them off, a few of the suckers will have already given up, but if you flick a nail under them rather than trying to pull them off with the tabs, it's a lot easier and it's kinder to the screens, it doesn't tear them. You might find there's a bit of condensation all over the back of them, so we just generally spread them out on top of all the things in the boot to let them dry during the morning, something like that. So Daisy's got her hookup cable here. I've got a demonstration one and I'll show you where it connects up. If you're on a campsite with mains electricity, you can plug Daisy into the mains. And if I take my one here, you'll find it'll say van end, campsite end to make things easier. Open up the cap, lift out that, slide it on, and that's the connection made. Now as soon as you've done that, in the cab, find a little sign. Stick that to the steering wheel as soon as you've connected up, and that way you won't feel like a right wally by driving off with an orange tail behind you. Okay. So we're going to put the roof up next, but before we put the roof up, we must make sure that the tailgate's closed. The roof and the tailgate go through the same bit of space and they'll catch on each other. If if you don't shut this close. I'm not very tall, so I need a bit of assistance when I'm putting the roof up on Daisy. The stool down, there's two catches here. The catches are hooked down. What you do is pull out this part here, and as that goes up, the hook drops down. Bring it out of the way, and then let it just come to rest so that it's not latching. And I'll do the one at the back. Pull it out, lift that up, bring the hook out of the way, and pop it back. So the roof's been released now, and we want to lift it up under the middle. I just lift it a little bit, holding one of the catches to start with, put my hand there, step up, and give it a good push. And it will creep up on the gas struts. And the next bit is inside the van. So we've pushed the roof up from the outside. On the driver's side, this panel lifts up. And then I can stand up and just push inside the roof until it's gone all the way up. Next, I put my back against the padding here, get hold of the side and slide. This, over the years, everything's got a bit tight, so it doesn't go all the way out flush with this anymore. As long as you're getting it out near these black marks, then that's good enough. And now suddenly you don't have to crouch in Daisy anymore. And we've got 4 beds in the roof. One across the back, one across the front, one down this side if we fold the panel down. Bring a cushion in there, get hold in the middle and give it a shake. And we've got another one along the sliding door side. Bed at the back and the bed at the front. The cushions are in 3 pieces. Simply take that one, slide it into the piece there, and the one at the top, and put that in at the sort of head end. It's cosy with 6 people in Daisy. You have to get on very well and you have to travel light, but it can be done. Downstairs, the seats make up into the bed. The main double bed downstairs makes up with the seats that face each other, and we take these boards, they're labelled up, driver's side, window edge, pop it in the gap. And there's another one that goes in here. Take the backrest cushions and they fill in the space in between. When you get to the third backrest cushion, you'll find it doesn't fit, and that's because it isn't used as part of the bed. Instead, in the boot, just reach over, we've got one that's got a board on the back, and that is the third cushion. Fills in the space there. Now we put that one on the last one because with it having the board on, it won't squirm and fall out in the night. And stop. So if we take the cushions off the seat here, lift that up, underneath there we've got electrical bits and pieces. If you're connected up to the mains, we've got a set of breakers just down here. So if your sockets don't work, just check that all those breakers are towards the front of the van. Also in there you'll find we've got a laptop bag there which has got a flat screen TV with the DVD player built in. There's a fan heater, so if you've got chilly nights you can plug that in, only if you're on the mains hookup though. And there's also a mains light, and there's the aerial there for the TV and a bit more space. All the cushions, I've got a number on so that you can match it up with the number on the seat, and the Velcro should stick in place. So for travelling again, you can fish out the seat belts. We've got a lap belt on this side and a 3-point belt on that side. Underneath the seat that faces backwards, we can lift up these cushions. Again, take it off the Velcro. And underneath this side, bin, dustpan, brush, cleaning things, water carrier. And under the far side, if we were to lift this off and slide it over, you'll find a big tub with all the pans and things like that in. And in the back, another tub which has got all the small things in, like your cutlery, your crockery, cups, mugs and so on. You can find the list of everything that's in Daisy on the website. Behind the cooker, this is the cupboard that nobody ever finds again. You can lift it up, pop the bolt across there to hold it up, and in here you'll find there's washing up bowls with the washing up kit, and also we've got the gas cylinders. And there's 2 gas cylinders. One with the valve on is already connected up to the cooker, and there's a spare one there. So if you did need to change it, if you find that the gas has run out, then you can turn this off on the valve here, lift it up, take the spare one out, swap the pipe across to the new one. When you're connecting it up, just make sure that you don't cross thread the threads. It should go on nice and easily, and you will get a little escape of gas as you put it on, so always do it with the door open and plenty of ventilation. If we're going to be burning gas in a small space in Daisy, several things from a safety point of view. First of all, you want to lose the curtains, so push that right out of the way. Next thing, always have some ventilation, so if it isn't doors open weather, at least make sure that you've got the window nearest the cooker open. There's catches on the front of the cooker here, pop them up and lift it up. And then on each side there's a little strut that goes down so that the whole thing won't fold up again if you've got a pan on the go there. Now again, for safety, it's very often that we have small 6-year-old boys sitting here playing with the gas taps while they're going along, so we don't want gas in the van. And there's a safety shut-off valve tucked away above the cool box here. So underneath the cooker, just at the back here, we've got this little brass valve. And if you just open that up anti-clockwise, as far as it'll go. Now when we turn the gas on, press in, turn round, give it a click, and we're cooking. So there's a striker on each of the burners. We've got a control for the grill in the middle, but it doesn't have a striker on. So in the tub here you'll find we've got a gas lighter. Simply put it under each side to light the gas on the grill. You press that in and turn down, it goes down to simmer, back up past full blast, and again push it in, turn it round and click off. When you finish with cooking, always make sure you turn off the valve underneath. You can just do it by feel. All you need to do is turn it till it just touches. Don't screw it in tight, it's kinder to the valve that way. And to shut the cooker up, take the struts off. Once it's all cooled down, you can shut that away. Very neat. We've done the cooker, we need somewhere to eat. Tabletop is probably sitting in the boot. Just get that out. So here's the table. There's a pole in clips just on the seat. Spring that out. It's got a screw thread on the end. Just pop that onto there. Give it a twirl. And then pop the white brackets into the ones on the side panel. And just pop that down. And you'll find there's a convenient socket there. You can plug the TV in if you're doing it off 12 volt, or you can plug it in on the mains below there. And chargers and all sorts. Onto electrics. So in Daisy, if you're hooked up to the mains, as we showed you at the beginning, you've got main sockets. There's one up here, there's a couple down under the seat, and there's a couple down on the side panel, which ends up tucked away under the bed. So they will only work if you're on the mains hookup. So if your mains is on, this orange light will be on, saying 230 volts on. You can leave that on all the time. It's a good indication that you're hooked up. The only time I turn that off is if I'm lying in bed staring up at it and it's annoying me, in which case you can just turn it off. Next to that, we've got a switch here that says on-site or touring. Now this is for charging the leisure battery. So the leisure battery will run all the 12 volt things in the van, such as the lights, and you want to charge that. If you're on the campsite, have it switched to on-site. If you're driving around, switch that to touring. The alternator will charge the car battery first, and then when it gets to a certain level, it will start charging the leisure battery as well. Once you're hooked up, always make sure you switch it back to on-site, and that way you're getting the benefit out of your hookup. The final switch we've got here, it says 12 volt on. You switch it on, you'll get a little red light here. In theory, when the battery's absolutely full, you'll get a green light, but that has never come on in our time with Daisy. Next to that, they're just fuses, so you can ignore them. The 12 volt will power any sockets that look like this, like an in-car socket. You can plug things in there, so if you've got phone chargers, USB adapters, things like that. And it will also power the lights. On there, and one above the cooker, the button is on the end there. As well as that, we've got a socket which is tucked away above the cool box, just under here, and the cool box is plugged into that. The switch to switch that on, just behind the cooker, cool box socket, switch that on, and you can hear the cool box is running. So that will work while you're driving, but if you left it just running off the battery when you're not driving, you can easily flatten the leisure battery. So don't run that unless you're on a hookup when you're camping. So the cool box itself, as we say, runs off the 12 volt, and it will be powered off the battery of the car while you're driving, hooked up to the mains. You can run it when you're camping, but we don't suggest leaving it on all the time. Just use it to get it down to temperature. Inside there, we'll have popped a couple of ice packs in ready to go, and you can pop the ice packs in. Usually the reception for the campsite will have a freezer. You can put them in the night before, pick them up in the morning, or go back for them in the morning when you've forgotten them, and it will keep your cool box nice and cold. They don't run like a fridge, they don't have a thermostat, so they'll basically get it chilled down to a certain level below ambient temperature. So try to be minimal with what you keep in the cool box. It's easy at this point to get a little bit glazed over, so just to help you out, in the back of Daisy's seat you'll find there's a handbook. In here is everything we've already shown you. So from which key does what, how the roof works, how the bed cushions work, where the hookup goes, what all the switches on the electric panel do, and there's our phone number at the end just in case you get stuck. There's also a list there of everything that's in the van. So we're just going to go back to the sleeping arrangements upstairs. In the roof here we've got these 4 beds, and in terms of climbing up into the roof, if you've got small children, just give them a boost up. If it's bigger people, you can sleep adults in these beds, then simply get your hands each side. It's not as high as it looks. Once you're actually in bed, the edge on the bed is enough to keep you in. With this panel down though, you're not going to have children rolling out, but if you have got particularly really small children, we can lend you a bedside to go alongside one of the beds. It's worth mentioning sometimes we get bad weather in the Lake District, and you can get heavy rain at night and strong winds, and if you get heavy rain it can sometimes gather on top of the roof canopy like this. So we've got here the world's most useless brush, and you can use this in 2 ways. First of all, for knocking rain off in the night, or before you open the sliding door in the morning, do it with the door shut. And also if you've got strong winds blowing against the roof canopy, you don't want to be worrying at night about it folding up on the gas struts. So you can locate this. There's a reinforced part in this corner here. Pop it in there, take a bit of care, and then the bottom edge will go into the foot there of the bracket of the pole that holds the roof up, and locate there. Now it's really important, if you have put this in at night, that take it away in the morning at the first opportunity, because if you try shutting up the roof while this is in place, you're going to get a nasty crunching sound. So that's just there for a bit of peace of mind. Before we close the roof up, we need to fold everything away. So first of all, on the one that's just in the hinge side, fold this cushion towards you. Get the cushion out of the pillow end, bring that in there, bring the one out of the foot end, put it where I'm sitting. And then it's important to take the fleece liner down. Now we've got this in to keep you nice and snug at night, and it helps to reduce condensation as well. But just pop that off from the sides. You tuck that away, and then there's a vent at the front and a vent at the back. Just make sure these are unzipped. So if you've had them closed at night, open them up, because all this air in the roof's got to go somewhere, and when we shut the roof, it's going to go out of those vents. And if you've got small children, you can send them up with this job to do. So we've got cushions tucked in, this one folded in, vents open, and the fleece just brought in out of the way like that. So before we fold all the roof up, if you just free up this rope, we're going to use that in a moment to pull the roof down. Here we've got the boards that made up the main bed downstairs. I've just popped them in here, or you can put them on top of the cushions, front and back. There isn't much room left in here, so you can't leave any bedding in the roof, unfortunately. There's no space left when it all slides into place. So now that we've got all that ready to go, we need to go outside. To fold it up in the roof, we've made sure there's no small children down the hinge side or important soft toys and so on. And if you remember, when we put the roof up, we slid it out. We're going to slide it back in, but we do this from the outside. Don't be tempted to pull on it from the inside. So get about in the middle and simply push it in. You feel a very positive bump when it stops. Get the front and back corners and tuck them in. Like that. You can't tuck in the middle because it's all solid just there. But under where the beds go, you can tuck in a bit, and the next bit is back inside. So we've slid the roof in, we've got these two roof panels back together now, and you can see we've got a little black mark here. As long as it's gone beyond there, it's in far enough. We reach through between these bed cushions, get hold of the rope, and just give it a pull, and tuck that away. Back outside, make sure we've not got any hernias, and then open up the hooks again. And pop that down. Recap, we can seat 6 in Daisy. A lap belt and a 3-point belt facing forwards, a 3-point belt facing back. We just take the seat out of the way while we're filming, so we have another seat facing backwards there, and then with the 2 cab seats. Sleep 6, seat 6.